Before we get into the healthcare and the AI, the next thing that we're looking for is what? Like, go through the events to the millennium.
Well, the next thing on God's prophetic time calendar is the rapture. The snatching, catching away, harpazo of the bride.
And some people believe in that, some people don't.
Well,
some people believe
Some put it pre, mid, or post. Yeah.
Yeah.
They believe in it just in different times.
Yeah, exactly. But the Bible does teach that there is a rapture. You see that in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, but also John 14 and 1 Corinthians 15. I hold to the pre-trib that we leave prior, and we have whole studies on that. But to me, the big ones is the Bible's very clear. Romans chapter 5, 1 Thessalonians 1, 1 Thessalonians 5. We are not appointed unto, we are saved from and rescued from God's wrath as the church. Therefore, how could we be in the 7-year tribulation? That is a time of God's wrath. So what's next is the rapture. Right after that, you're going to have the 7-year tribulation. What starts it? Daniel 9:27. The Antichrist makes a covenant with the Jewish people. And then in the midway point, he commits, again, as we talked about, the abomination of desolation. It's split into 3 parts. The judgments of God coming from the throne room of God. You have the seal judgments. You have the trumpet judgments. Mm-hmm. And at the end, you have what's called the bowl judgments. At the end of that is the Battle of Armageddon. Revelation 19, Jesus comes back with us, the bride, and puts it down. Obviously, he doesn't lose any war of anything. And then he sets up the millennial kingdom. That's the 1,000-year reign of Jesus Christ, fulfilling the promises of the Jewish people. The 1/3 remnant that's been sovereignly protected during that time will march into that time. Any Gentile that got saved during that time and is somehow still alive, probably not a lot, they're going to march in. They're going to be repopulating the earth.
What about the ones that got saved that were martyred during the 7-year?
They will experience a resurrection as well and be a part of that.
And what about the marriage supper of the Lamb? Is that going on during the 7-year tribulation?
Well, there's a debate on that. Some would say that's what's going on during, as well as the Bema judgment, the issuing of the rewards and things of that nature. Others would say, no, that's part of what happens.
What do you hold to?
I lean more towards when we come back. Yeah. That's part of the celebration with the bride, because we're the bride of Christ, right? And he's going to rule and reign as king. What does that make us? The queen, right? And then if you want to get into the nuts and bolts of it, after the marriage ceremony and the consummation of a Jewish marriage ceremony, which lasted typically for 7 days, so I think that's our consummation is in heaven during the 7-year tribulation. But after the 7 days of consummation, then the announcement came of husband and wife to the world, to the audience. And I think that that's when we're going to have the marriage supper of the Lamb, at the announcement, the millennial kingdom, because we're going to rule and reign with Christ. He's king, we're the queen, and we get authority. But it's going to last for 1,000 years. It's going to be the planet renovated to Garden of Eden-like conditions.
What about Lucifer?
Lucifer will be bound the whole time for 1,000 years. But after the
1,000 years?
At the very end, he will be released. It's very quick. You know, he dupes the world again. And this is very important for people to understand. They say, well, you know, the world rebels again? It's crazy. And then they say, well, I hope I don't do it. Well, you can't if you're a Christian now, because when we go with the rapture, we lose the sin nature. Yeah. Only people who have a sin nature can rebel, because that's a sin.
So that would be people born during the 1,000-year reign?
Exactly. We're not the ones who are going to repopulate the planet. It's the 1/3 Jewish remnant and any Gentile that got saved in the 7-year tribulation. They walk into with natural bodies, which means they still unfortunately have a sin nature. It's their progeny 1,000 years later who has a sin nature, just like when we have kids today, unfortunately, we pass the sin nature on. It's from them, not us as a Christian. That's another benefit of getting saved now.
Is that free will, free choice?
Yeah, it's always that way.
Part of what that is about.
Yes, it always is. And really, it's kind of like God's last straw, proving his point, that sin is corrupt. No matter what you do, you can't fix it. The only solution is to get rid of it, right? And so you see with the millennial kingdom, unlike today, you could say, well, it's not fair because I didn't get to see God. Well, in the millennial kingdom, you get to see him right there. Well, it's not fair because I had a hard life. You're not going to have a hard life in the millennial kingdom. It's going to be lush. It's going to be awesome. There's even going to be peace with nature, with animals and things. It's going to be amazing, right? So you have no excuse. And then, to prove the point, you had everything, basically paradise for 1,000 years, and you still rebel against God.
Wow. But the Christians that are there ruling and reigning the millennium, we have the glorified body.
Exactly.
Already.
Yeah.
So after the 1,000-year reign, what? These are all questions I know you ask me.
Yeah.
So.
Then what comes is what's called the Great White Throne Judgment. And the Great White Throne Judgment has nothing to do with Christians, because we're not judged in that manner. What it is basically all the people that rebelled in that during time, but all the people who have been going to hell all this time throughout all of history are raised up before the Great White Throne. And it says there, if their name was not found in the book singular of life, which of course it's not, that's why they were in hell, but the books were open, that's their works, and that's what they trusted in. That's why, again, they weren't saved. And it says basically they're judged and they go from hell into the lake of fire, which is where the false prophet was thrown in at the end of the seven, and the Antichrist, and where Satan goes and the demons, Matthew 25, right? Hell, by the way, was originally created for the devil and demons, Jesus said. Not
Wasn't
people.
for us.
But since you
But we're eternal
rebelled,
beings. We're
like
eternal
the devil
beings.
and demons, then you send yourself there. But they're going basically from the frying pan into the fire. After that, it's what's called the state of eternity. The new heavens, the new earth, so shall it be forever and ever. No more death, no more dying, no more crying, no more mourning, no more pain. And that's called the eternal state.
Before you leave, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Also, we would love to hear how the Lord is moving and touching your heart right now. So be sure to comment below and then share this video with someone you feel needs it just as much as you did.